Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Talks podcast. Today we have a good friend, the star of my short film, Beautiful, Robert DeMario. What's going on, buddy?
Too much. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Of course, buddy. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, man. We made that short film again called Beautiful last summer in the midst of a pandemic, and we're finally here talking about it. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast to help promote it. It's been getting a lot of love, a lot of feedback. Have you been seeing this?
Yeah, man, it's crazy the response we're getting. Just to think that we made it on a summer day, about a year ago now, maybe a little less, and it was just something to do, right? We just put it together, and now the results we've seen and the response we get is it's crazy to look back on it.
Yeah, and a big thing for a big thing for me, like you said, it's just something quick, something we put together in the summer, but it's just such a little film, and it's come such a long way. Like it's doing a world tour. We'll get into like the film festivals, but it's literally been in New York, in Los Angeles, in Tokyo, in South Korea,
It's
and it's just
crazy
for
to
me,
think,
it's
man.
just yeah, it's astonishing. You made a good point too. Like it is a universal subject, like soccer, like everyone in the world like can relate to it. And I even joke around with your brother there. Shout out to Mark about being featured in the Euro Cup. FIFA calls me up.
Oh
Those
man, that's
commercials
that's
in
the
between.
dream.
Yeah, those promos in between. You're just watching an Italy game and just cuts to this that video of you. It's more than just a game. It's a lifestyle. I think you would just lose your shit.
Oh yeah, I would just start crying instantly.
Endorsement deals start coming to you. But yeah, anyway, so before we get into the film and like the process and the feedback we've been getting, I selected you for a reason. The film is about a young man reflecting on his love for the beautiful game known as soccer, right? And you've been associated with soccer your whole life. Your brothers, your father, like everyone has kind of brought down these lessons and in these talents to you because you are the youngest in your family. So whether it was playing it on the field, growing up watching it, soccer has always been in your life. So I wanted to know, like, what was your earliest experiences with the game, like with the sport?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just said it best. I was sort of born into this, right? I got my dad, who was born in Italy, born in Milano. He comes over here. He falls in love with coaching, and that's where he really found his passion. He played too, of course, but he loved coaching. He coached for like 25 years. Then I have two older brothers. They both play their whole life. They both get into it, and then by the time I come around, it's just the norm now, right? So yeah, definitely heavily influenced my family, and my earliest experiences probably as far back as I can even remember. Um, I just remember like it started. I was probably 6 years old and playing house league, and going to the field and watching my older brothers play. And while they're practicing, I'm on the sidelines doing keep ups and watching them. And it was literally like, especially because when the whole family's doing it, I'd have my practice and I go with my dad to my other brother's practice. Then we go to Mark's practice, and then I'm just on the field like 4 hours, four times a week, and it's hard to not fall in love, right? When you're surrounded by it so much.
Yeah, it was just that consistency of it being part of your life. Really, you had no choice in a way, right? Because
Yeah.
everywhere you turn, it's not like you had one brother that was into photography and one brother that was into like soccer, right? It was just like everybody, and that's because I should mention, because I'm friends with your brother and I've just in a way grew up with your family. That's all I remember when I would go over. Just everybody's talking about soccer. Like people, you have jerseys pinned to the wall, literally. You know what I mean? In the
Literally.
basement. Yeah, right. Literally pinned to the wall. Um, and I have to say, it's probably a credit to your family and a combination of my nonno. Like you guys got me into more of the World Cup and Euro Cup. That I can't, even though I don't like watch Champions League and keep track of like the seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
When it comes to the World and Euro Cup, it's just a different level for me.
I think that's where everyone falls in love at first. Like
Yeah,
I don't when I'm really young, I don't really recall watching, like Milan every weekend, but I can tell you I remember like getting excited for the World Cup or for the Euro
yeah,
Cup because it's a global thing, right? You feel like that you're a part of something that's bigger than everything like this. That's kind of what differentiates I think soccer from a lot of other sports is that global aspect. It's like, hockey there's the world championships and stuff, but not to the same, extent of the World Cup where
of course.
it's another level. And it's especially because I went to one in Brazil, right, in 2014. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah, I remember that.
just
Yeah.
To be in that atmosphere, I can't even put the words to it. It's
It's
just you realize that
indescribable. Yeah.
you realize it's bigger than life. You realize to
A
these
hundred
people
percent.
in these other countries, it's more to life to them. It's
Well,
crazy.
when I was talking to your brother, I remember him like telling me like you don't understand. Like here you go to a Leaf game, you go to a Raptors game, you got what 17,000 if you're lucky. Like people actually showing up, and if they all show up, you got to pray that they're all like looking at the game, you know, drawn in, focused. And he's
Some
like,
of them
now
are there for
imagine
date night. You know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah. Let's be honest, day and night hooking up, or like business people. The best is the ones that are front row, right on their cell phones, Blackberries. And the best is when because he made a good point. He says, now imagine a stadium of 100,000 people. Okay, triple for exponentially bigger than the Leaf Stadium, Scotiabank Arena, but they're all focused on the game and they're all like glued and no one's on their phone. Everyone's chanting, singing. Like, and I said, and that's when I realized like I don't think I can comprehend that until you witness it, right? And that's why you said it's like indescribable, that feeling, like it's priceless, because that's a lot of people in one place, all uh, in the same like place for the same reason. Do you know what I
And
mean?
just yeah, for sure. And just to like think about it, right? Like at a World Cup, I'm sitting there like in Brazil, and you just have people from Chile, from Australia, from Portugal, from Canada, United States.
Yeah.
They can't even speak the same language, but like they can talk soccer. Like I can somehow it's like a universal language. It's
That's
it's
so
just
funny. The lingo,
it's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
And that's like, I'm happy we had this talk about the what soccer has brought for a lot of people and nationalities, because that was my mission when I wrote this film, this little film here, Beautiful. Even the visuals, what I wanted to capture is, I explained to you at first, we were joking around. I was like, oh, I want to make you look like, the best soccer player or whatever. But I also, at my heart, I always believe in having a story first, right? So for me, I wasn't too crazy about, oh, you need to do this trick and like do a scissor kick and whatever. It was more about, what is the essence of the sport? And that, like you said, the universal language is a universal game, and everybody knows it as beautiful. And it's so funny because I wrote it with that perception. I never played, well, I played soccer when I was very, very young, but I never had it as associated in my life as you did. But I still know the appreciation people have for it. So when I wrote beautiful at the end, I remember even asking him like, yo, do you think people will get that, right? Like, yeah, beautiful game. You kidding me? They better get that, right? So I just knew I had something going, and I was so thrilled that you approved of the story, man. Like someone coming from your field.
I couldn't have asked for like a better, you could have asked me to do other things and I would have been like, yeah, yeah, maybe,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
that's just I don't have to act, right? I'm just doing me, and it's crazy. I think the reason why soccer is like the beautiful game, that's what they call it,
yeah.
is because it's really the poor man's game. Like it's something that can be played in any corner of the world. Like, it's difficult for countries, like poor countries to play hockey where you need an
Of
ice
course.
rink, you need skates, you need gear, you need sticks, or football where you need the helmet, the pads. Soccer's a game that you don't need to play with anybody. You can be by yourself. You can have a ball. You don't need a net. You can just do keep ups and enjoy yourself. But more importantly, it's the idea that like it's the simplest game that can bring everyone together. It's just the bare simple foundations of sport of competition.
Yeah,
It's
and
awesome.
what better formula, right? All you need is your buddies or people, right? You can grab any object, put two devices parallel apart, make an opening for a net, and then a ball. That's it. And some people in some countries probably don't even use a rubber ball. They just use an object that rolls around
Yeah,
roughly,
and
right?
even exactly, and you don't even like what I was trying to say was too is like you don't even really need a net. You don't even really need other people. Like for basketball, like you can't just bounce a ball around and like you need a hoop. You get right.
Yeah,
What I'm trying
that
to say
makes
is that
sense.
there's
Yeah.
you can walk in the street and I see somebody kicking a ball against the wall and that they're playing soccer and they're
Yeah,
having a
you're right.
blast.
You're right. I love it.
You
Or
know what
doing
I mean?
keep
It's
ups. That's a big thing, right? Yeah.
exactly. So it's really like this. It can bring you so much joy from the littlest thing. Like it doesn't require anything, and it can just bring you so much happiness.
And that's something that I can, well, I can't relate to, but I think with admire, because with hockey, I should say, I played hockey was more my soccer. I played it my whole life, and the family I grew up in, they talked about hockey all the time, and they played it, more advanced levels too, my cousins. But with hockey, kind of like with filmmaking, you need a location, you need a team, you need a setting, yeah, and you need a shit ton of equipment. That is expensive, I should mention. Like skates alone are like $200-300,
Sure. 100%.
right? And then you got to consider the pricing of the other gear, right? And you need that gear. It's not like you can skip it and say, I don't need it, don't worry about it, right? Like soccer, right? Shin pads, you could skip that if you're really brave
Oh, of
like that.
course.
I would never skip them, or or a jock or a cup. But people do it. Let's be honest. And obviously they play maybe barefoot, but at the same time, there's more flexibility in that, and I think that's what something like you said you can admire, and that's something that I should mention. Also, your brother. I remember like in grade 6 when I was 12, and like the World Cup. That's 2006 in Germany when Italy won. Like who could forget that? It's ingrained in my mind because I've never had more of an exhilarating. I never looked forward to going to school so much more in my life. Like all of the month of June. All right, I think yeah, right.
That's yeah.
Every day, even the teachers were, because it's a predominantly Italian community, right? We live in. Everyone was involved. Like everyone, the teachers were bringing in the TVs. Like that's how cooked they were. Because usually teachers are like, "Nah, we're not watching this. Like you guys got to focus, whatever."
Of course. I
Everyone was
remember that
meeting up
too.
in the gymnasium. Like we were just kill.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a great summer. One of my best memories of my life. But I just remember before that, in anticipation for it, this is probably like my first World Cup experience. I should be,
Yeah. For a lot of us too,
admit.
right? Yeah.
No, yeah, because I never really cared for it before. But I remember Mark, like I was always joking around about hockey and things like that, and he says, wait till the World Cup, because you have to understand this isn't a few cities, maybe a few country, Russia, Canada, US. Imagine like the whole world, like everyone in some ways connected to this game. And he was right. When we watched that game, man, even if you weren't Italian, Portuguese, one guy's from Australia, one guy knows a dad from England, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean, or my
literally.
my cousin's married a half Swede, so I'm cheering for Sweden. Like
South
the
America,
crazy
yeah,
amount of
like
stories,
yeah.
yeah, people with flags racing through the streets. You don't see that when the people are doing the playoffs and the Stanley Cup. And another thing I learned about the World Cup is what makes it so much of a special event. It's held every 4 years,
Yeah. That's another
right?
thing.
It makes it sacred in that way, right? Like when it does come around, you better be there, better be ready, right?
Exactly, man. It's like the once every 4 years is a great touch. I think the only other thing that does that is the Olympics, right? Um,
Yeah, but the Olympics is
it just
like so many sports, so it's not even as concentrated, But it's just not the same feeling for me, I guess, because there's so many activities and sports happening. Some sports people don't even consider sports, so there's
exactly,
just so
yeah.
much happening, right? But I just love the idea that the whole world is focused on one sport and they're trying to be the best at this one sport. It really is a universal game. It's crazy.
Think the moment I think back of to like, and I was really young, right? I'm 4 years younger than you. So when
Right.
2006 was happening, I was even younger, and I
Yeah.
just still remember that moment when like we were taking the last penalty. Italy, it was Grosso taking it, and like he was lining up. The referee blows the whistle, and like
Right.
you could just feel like the entire world was in silence. Like
Oh
I don't
yeah.
care where you were, like there was a moment in the entire world just stopped and froze, just like waiting to see if he
The
was
earth
gonna
stood
score.
still, man. I'm telling you, the
It's
earth stood still. People,
I could feel that, right? Like
scientists
everyone
will not buy that theory, but I believe it, man. Like I don't know what it was, man.
heard it here first.
The air, like everything was still. Even the bugs were like frozen. And then all of a sudden, when he scored that winning goal, it was almost instantaneous. Like cars were ready to go.
Oh
You just
yeah,
heard
yeah.
honking and
It's
beeping and
just
like racing down the street. I'm not kidding, man. As soon as the ball like went in, and they're like, and then they're like,
I was
right?
probably one of those
I
cars.
swear, it's almost like everybody was waiting to just like rev it. It was instantaneous. It was amazing. I was at a family
And
barbecue, so that's why.
nice, man. And just like moments like that. And listen, we live in a world where there's very few things that can really that's universal and that can bring everybody together in a
Especially in
peaceful
this
manner.
climate, yeah, for sure, man.
That's why soccer for me is like the older I get, I start to really appreciate and understand like
Yeah,
it's more than life. I understand it now,
of course,
Yeah.
man. I want to get into more of the sport now, because like I said, it's been with you your whole life. Your experience with soccer? Did it give you any kind of like life lessons that you kind of take with your personal life, your professional life, what you're doing now?
Of course. I mean, like I said, right, I've been playing since I can remember. I was like 6 years
Hmm.
old. And I owe everything to it, man. The whole experience is just taught me at an early age. It taught me how to make friends, how to socialize, how to be a part of a team. It's just the foundations, and then from there, it gives you confidence. It gives you a source of an identity. Like in high school, like I was a soccer guy. The guy who plays
That's right.
soccer. It's
Yeah,
just something that it's a character builder thing, and it gives you something that you like. At the end of the day, like that's me and that's who I am. And a
yeah,
lot of people don't have that for a long time, and they're trying to figure out that path. So I was given that at a man, it's
yeah,
true. And a
yeah.
lot of people, and now that I stopped playing, I'm kind of going through that now, like where I
Wow.
played my whole life. I just finished university. Now I'm working, and I'm not that soccer guy anymore. Like I don't
Yeah.
play anymore. So it's like a process of refining myself. But there's a quote that Ronaldinho has that I love, and it says, "I learned all about life with a ball at my feet." And I know what he
Mm,
means, man. Like, it's you learn, let's say you lose a game, you learn how to lose, you learn how to take that. If
of
you
course.
if you play a bad game, you learn how to deal with that. If you maybe, get subbed off and you get benched for a game, you learn how to take that. And then you learn how to win gracefully. You win a trophy, you know what it means to win. Like, it's just
Yeah.
so many things you learn, dedication, going to training every day, working hard, you learn discipline, you learn there's just honestly I can talk for hours about the things that I don't think it's necessarily specific to soccer, just sport in general.
Yeah.
That sport can teach someone, a young man, a young girl. And yeah, I owe a lot of my life. Like, even when I'm applying for jobs now, first thing they say is, "Oh, you played varsity soccer, you played a sport." And then they love hearing that because of all the things I said, right? They know that means you
Of
have
course.
teamwork, you have
Yeah.
leadership, all those different things. So yeah, man, honestly, like, it saddens me that it's over. And now that as I get older, it's like a different phase where, I start to appreciate. I've always appreciated watching it, but now, like, that's really all I have is watching it. And I'm like, it's just it grows with you, and it changes as you get older, and you like to love the game that you have. But man, I owe everything to it. I am the person I am today because I played soccer growing up, and I was, involved in it.
Yeah, that's some powerful stuff. And I had a feeling you'd say that because, again, just witnessing, you through the years playing the sport and, hearing your family, like what you played more advanced levels of soccer, and not to shit on, the current generation or just the climate, the social climate, but, we live in a world now where the participation trophies, everybody's a winner, and, I didn't mean to beat you and all that crap. But
Yeah, yeah.
you were raised in a way, right? Even though you're the youngest and you would be considered, I guess, like a Gen Z, you still had that mentality brought down from your father of, you lose, you take it like a man, and you show up to the next game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I think that's very important. And like you said, like a life lesson is humbling you, right? That's why you're such a modest, humble guy. You're not fanatical, or you're not like full of yourself, is because you've been through those losses as much as you've been through the wins,
100%, man.
and you
I've
and
seen
you
it
take it
all.
to real life. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, my story is even a unique one if you really want to dive into it, where um at a young age, when I was 12, 13 years old, I was cut from my team, for example.
Oh,
Like, a lot, a
wow.
lot, a lot of people even experience that. That's something I had
Right.
to deal with. Huge ego destroyer right there. Kind of having to
Yeah.
take that
Yeah.
at that age too, right?
Yeah.
And then a few years later, I end up, playing at a national level and winning the trophies, and it's just that kind of roller coaster of emotions. Uh, just taught me everything. Taught me about all the things you just said. Being humble and knowing how to win, knowing how to lose, things like that. So
Yeah, and it thickens your skin, right? Like it prepares you for life events that if you do reach disappointments or rejections, like that's a huge thing what you just mentioned. When you're really young like that, especially if you make friends and then you get cut from the team. I've witnessed that myself, or experienced that myself, I should say personally. Um, it breaks your heart, but it kind of prepares you for life because life isn't guaranteed. Life isn't sweet.
be
There's
honest,
always things, right?
yeah. If I didn't get cut from that team, I don't think I would have became the player I was after. Like,
Nice.
I ended up like growing exponentially because it kind of gave me that drive. And like at the time, I didn't understand that. But now when I reflect back,
Right.
honestly, I don't know if I would have been able to be as good as I was afterwards, because I would after that day, when I got cut, I would train on my own. I'd go for runs. I'd go to practice. I'd do everything I could just because, like, I had that happen to me. I understood
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
have to work for it.
Proud of you, buddy. Yeah, I'm proud of you that you said that, man, and you're self-aware. To a lot of people would be in denial, or angry, like, "Oh, I got cut. Like, what the
At the
hell?"
time, I
Right? But you,
was, for
at the
sure. At
time,
the
for
time, I
sure.
was.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying is now I'm happy you had that moment. I think it's very healthy that you realize, hey, it made me better. And I think a lot of us, especially as a creative myself, struggle with that. I still do. Like, there's moments that I get rejected from things, where in the moment it hurts me. But as I keep going, right, as I stay positive, I look back and I say, hey, happened for a reason, right? Or else I wouldn't have encountered this. So life has an interesting way of working itself out. You just got to be patient with it, and you got to stay true to yourself. And I think that's what you did, right? As a soccer player, is always keeping authentic to the game, and it was never about the vanity or the ego.
Definitely, man. It's like at the end of the day, I mean, it was a lot of. I keep saying it, right, because there's a delicate age for that to happen, right? Where at first I wanted to quit soccer, and that was my first reaction. I'm not
Yeah.
good enough, this and that, and then you just kind of get back to the basics, and you remember why you're doing it, and it's just because when I'm bored, even till this day, when I have a few weeks off or on a Sunday morning, I'm just gonna grab a ball and go play, like, by myself. That's just me. That's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
That's my pastime. That's my hobby, and that's kind of what you got to stick with in times like that. It's You just got to remember that this is my passion. This is what I do, and whether I do good or bad, I just enjoy doing it. I'm gonna do it anyways.
And a lot of the shots that I took of you when we were filming Beautiful, I should mention, is, you were just in your element. Like, I directed you in some situations that I wanted a particular shot, but most cases I wanted you to just be yourself. And that's why we were able to get like a lot of the stuff that I consider to be my favorite. For example, like the ending shot, the way you were looking around and like preparing with the nose thing. That's what I mean by you had actor instincts. Like, you just
Yeah.
were so serious, so convinced, in that role. And just staring off to, you didn't even stare at the lens. I have to mention, like, the last frame, if people know what I'm talking about, if they watch Beautiful, you're looking out to the sky, and it was just so cinematic. And I'm like, that's my guy. Like, this guy knows, like, don't look at, because so many people will, right, especially if you're not a professional actor. So
Yeah.
people that are first coming on a set or first time doing their acting job, I know I would do that, or I would just naturally look at the camera because you think something's looking at you, right? But you just knew, man. You like looked away. So those instincts definitely played a part. And it all comes down to, like you said, you're always practicing, right? You're always grabbing a ball. You're always going to the field, always in the element, always in the game, the mindset of a soccer player. So really cool, man. Really cool stuff. You know, so I want to get more into like the film now.
Yeah. For sure.
We shot this during the pandemic. We shot this in the middle of a pandemic. And, this is something we've been planning before the pandemic. And I'll be honest, I was unsure if you were going to show up. I was unsure if I was going to show up, like if you were going to do it. I remember going back and forth, like thinking, like, is it safe? Is it this? And I just have to say, like, I'm very grateful that you showed up. I'm really grateful that, you were committed as much as I was. When we made the first, I should say, a soccer video called Welcome Back, when I made it with your brother, you were thrilled to be part of the next one. So I was so I was so happy that you shared the same energy, and you were giving me high praise for that first one. And so I really appreciated that, buddy.
Yeah, man. I remember it. It was awesome. I was so jealous of Mark. I was like, I want a video, man. What the hell is this?
And now your brother's jealous of you. It works full circle.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah,
But
man, honestly, like,
yeah,
it's funny because when we did it, when we were doing it, like, it's like you said, like, I was more so like, what, I'm of course I'm down, like, I want to help you out and, help you any way I can. And also the
sure.
soccer video. So for me, it was just like, yeah, like, of course I'll come by, we'll do it, whatever. And it's just
Yeah.
like, not to reiterate it again, but,
Mhm.
now we're sitting here a year later and it's gone into all these festivals, gone all this recognition. And it just goes to show you, right? Like like how something small, if you do it and you do it properly and you take the time and, you never know, anything can
And
happen.
that was, yeah. And then I'm glad you said that, because that's been my attitude, man, from day one. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I have my days where I, have some self doubt, but at my core, that I've always had that energy where I don't care if it's a minute, I don't care if it's 2 minutes. Like, if it has a story, people will look into it. And if you do it right, like, I had this vision from day one, like how I wanted it to be accomplished, and it only gets better and better the more you do these things. But that's why I wrote you that voiceover, that script, all right? Because I said I want to take it to another level. With your brother, I just had him do some moves, whatever. I was getting used to the settings as well. Like, that's why some things were overexposed. But you could still, if you watch it, see like his intention, like what I was trying to go for. And then you see yours, and it's almost like a sequel, right? It's almost like a reimagining. Um, and yeah, so I'm really proud how it turned out again, and a lot of great things. I want to know, other than the fact that me kind of persisting you to do it, and just being on your ass about it, what was it about when I sent you that script, and like when I explained to you the concept, what was it about it that you wanted to be part of it?
I think it was just came down to the fact that to me it wasn't really like I didn't have to act, right? Like if you give me a role where I had to do something, I maybe feel a little uncomfortable or because I've never
Right,
done it before. But for me, it was like I'm just gonna go to the park and play soccer, and Calderon's just gonna film me.
there you
I
go.
just
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
maybe say a
yeah.
couple lines, and it just felt like it was just it reflected me and how I felt about the game. So to me, it was just a no brainer. It was easy for me to go along with it, and it was easy for me to play my part because he did such a good job at portraying how I would feel about the game or how anybody
Yeah,
would feel that's actually played it. So that's kind of what really intrigued me about it the most.
Yeah, and between the voiceover and the visuals, like a lot of people still compliment you when they watch it. Like my sister, for instance, we were like, "Wow, he has the voice. Like he really pulled it off." And I said,
It's
"Yeah." I'm like, "That's what I wanted." I'm like, "I wanted it to be you watch it and you believe this guy loves the game because I know you do, right?"
yeah.
So I'm so happy that was conveyed the way we wanted it to be, and
It's
yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
no. Go ahead, finish.
No, no, I was just gonna say that you said it right there as well, where I did it on purpose to have you. I didn't want, you know, be an actor per se. I wanted to center you around
Yeah.
something that you're comfortable in, right? I wanted to capitalize on your skills because it would be kind of funny to just say, "Hey, you're gonna be like a drug addict in an alley." Like it's
Exactly.
like poor Robert's like, buddy, I'm just trying to like live my life." but but with the soccer, I'm like, it's perfect. You got the skills, you got the look for it, and you get the passion. That was a big thing for me. And you could find anyone really, but we have such a great friendship
Yeah.
and a respect for one another, right, on what we do. You've been very kind, like supporting my work. So I was really happy, like I was able to get you on board for that.
Yeah. No, of course, man. And honestly, like part of it was to me, it was like this is gonna be like an opportunity for me to do like a Nike commercial. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
forever have this. I can show my kids one day. Like
And
you
on
know,
and
like
on yeah, and there was a short film website called Think Shorts. This organization that they actually scouted me and they saw your film and they wanted it to be featured and their Instagram, like social media, and I was like, beyond thrilled. And then recently they asked me to do an interview, and I don't know if I sent it to you or if you read it, but I explained that was the inspiration. Nike, Adidas promo videos that I would see before the World Cup. That's why I joked around like they get pick it up.
yeah,
Because when the World Cup comes up, or even the Euro, you're gonna see Ronaldo like looking out to the distance. There's gonna be like drum beats and like people waving a flag, flare guns. It's gonna be insane. But that's what we live for. Like for me as a creative, that's what I mean by I guess soccer. There's something, those events. There's something in it for everyone, right? Like I don't.
exactly.
The sport is great and all, but I love the storytelling behind it. I love
Sure. Yeah.
the
You can
vanity
appreciate it
and
more, right?
the
Yeah.
style. Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
I watch. It's like the Super Bowl. I couldn't care less about football. I'll watch it, but the in between the commercials, the way they're done, there's something for everyone, right? To kind of like get
Definitely.
inspiration.
Definitely, man. Listen, there's all sides of the game that people can enjoy. Like for example, we were just talking about this before we
Yeah,
started the podcast. I hopefully one day want to do sports marketing with Toronto FC. Right? Like, nah,
nice.
just because I can't be a professional soccer player, I can still be a part of
That
the game in a different
that's
way.
what
So
I'm.
like,
Yeah,
you can appreciate the storytelling and the way they do things more so than I can. But that's what makes it awesome, right? It's something for everyone.
yeah, no, for 100%. So now that we did this film, I'm just curious, do you have like an acting bug, or are you just like, is it kind of like a one-time thing for you? Because some people get it, man. Some people get
It's so funny you said that because like I have so many friends that like message me and every
it.
time I put the post like, oh, it's been selected at Tokyo now or this now, and they're all like, dude, are you like an actor? Are you like a famous actor?
Exactly,
So
bro.
it's really funny, man. Honestly, I don't know if I got the bug for acting, but if there's a beautiful part two, you let me know and I'll
Oh,
be
okay,
down.
yeah, for sure, buddy. Yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, man, between all the other projects I have in mind, I always reach out to you because there's something about like I love that I meant it when I said you had those instincts, like the acting instincts. You took it very serious. Like you know how like people are laughing, like okay, this time I'll be serious. It's like you're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
ready to go. Um,
There was also the pressure that we were gonna get kicked off the field, right? So we
Yeah,
didn't
okay, I
have
should mention that. Yeah. And that's what
we
I
didn't
mentioned in
have
my okay, so in my Think Shorts interview, I should mention like I actually made it my sister was dying when she read it because it was kind of like a passive aggressive answer. They're like, "What kind of challenges did you go through?" So I explained like things like the pandemic and I was just
yeah.
saying things like we weren't sure, like whatever. Then I said literally the last two lines. I'm like, and then we had to also deal with the fact that there was apparently a soccer team coming to practice on the field we were at, so we only had an hour. And then the way I worded it, I'm like, according to the manager of the field,
Oh,
their their
I
practice was
remember reading it.
priority was
That was the
so
word
we
you
had
used,
to
just
rush it.
priority.
Yeah. So I did. So I wrote it. Obviously, I thought it would came across like a pretty genuine answer, but I realized when I published it, oh, it sounds a bit passive aggressive, but I'll keep it
Okay.
because actually that's
Shows
how
your
I felt.
passion.
No, because
Shows
that's
your
how I felt.
passion.
Because exactly, but that's how I felt. Because I'm like, you're coming to me, and this is a serious production, and you guys, you could practice anytime, but this, the sun's right, the lighting's right, Robert's
Exactly.
here, we got to do it right now, you know. And when they showed up too, it was like, a bunch of girls and like shit, and I'm just like, okay, you know what, enough. Like, why are we?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
kicked
I
us
hear
off
you,
for
man.
this shit, no disrespect to the girls, but I just was expecting like TFC showing up like ready to practice, like get off the field, we got to keep in the mindset. But when everyone showed up, it was like, okay, I'll pick
We
you
were
up at 8. It's like
we were
it's like you
also in
guys
the
could
thick
have.
of things, right? We were like I started really getting into it. You were really getting into it. So we were
Yeah.
like in the zone.
And I remember like saying like, yeah, you guys could have waited, you guys could have waited. And I just, but um all the experiences I've had on set, like whenever there was like a time limit, or just a lot of constraints, that's when the best kind of creativity comes out, because we came up with a lot of great shots because we had to be so fast about it,
No time
like
for any bullshit, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
man. Like, and I remember I told you at one point, I'm like, buddy, I got all the shots I need now, just run around with the ball and like do like a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah.
and and I basically use that footage, right, to do, they're called fillers, right? And some angles, man, some shots, like, just thinking right now, when you were walking towards the field and you were like looking back, like that wasn't me telling you that. That was just you being in the moment, And but I use that's where editing comes in, right? The story changes again, and you have to kind of have an eye for it. You have to pick the certain scenes, certain moments in the footage that best capture what you're trying to convey to the audience, right? So a lot of cool stuff. Like one of my favorites I should mention is when you hop on the fence. Like how you just like jump on the fence and you have like a lot of praise for that. A lot of people are like, oh, that's a sick shot because we got it on one take.
That was all you, man. I
Do you
remember
remember
like
that?
dude, the
Yeah.
minute we did it, you were looking at the footage and we looked at it together and we were like, yo, that looks good. Like the minute we did it, we
Bro, that
knew
was
right
a one
away.
take, and it was like a
Yeah.
minute before these guys showed up, like they saw for the practice. And I remember us rushing it, like, oh shit, before we leave, I'm like, can you hop over the fence? Or maybe you even suggested, I think.
I
And
don't even remember. But
yeah,
yeah,
something
I
like
was
I don't know, but all I know is because I remember, oh, that's how we got on the field. I should mention we hopped the fence. Um,
that too.
it was all legal. Don't worry. We just didn't feel like using the door. If that were badass.
Exactly.
And we hopped the fence. So I said, okay, let's put that in because how much edgier would that be? You just see him like hop the fence. Like that's how passionate he is. He's like going onto the field, right? And that's authentic. That's authentic
Yeah.
you, man. That's you. You would tell me when you go on the field, you would
I
hop
was just
fences,
gonna say,
especially in the pandemic. Yeah.
exactly. I was just gonna say, like, of course, cinematic effect, but that's what happens whenever I go play, right? I gotta
Yeah.
hop the
There you go,
fence,
man.
throw the bag over, get on the field. It's partly true too, right? True
Yeah, man.
reflection.
I'm hyping myself up, but I was really proud that I pulled off that shot in one take. Like it was crazy. Do you remember? Like it was just like I thought I fell over too when I did it. Do you remember? I was like filming you, and then I
It
lost
was
balance. I'm like
perfect.
shit. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, that was like a smooth shot. Like I went with the motion of you
It
landing. It
was
was crazy.
honestly like it couldn't have been better, and like even like my bag, like the Western symbol was like just perfectly there.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
feet planted right beside. It was just like
Exactly. And shout
one
out
of
to
those.
Western University for the varsity team. No, they actually promoted it. You
Oh
were
yeah,
nice
that's
enough to
right.
send it to them. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Thank you.
yeah, shout out Western.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. They were nice enough to promote it. So I was really happy about that. So yeah, you know, we've mentioned before when we started the podcast earlier that it's been getting a lot of great positive reception. A lot of people have been praising us. I don't know on your end, but on my end, a lot of people have been being very kind towards it.
Of course, yeah.
But I think what did it for me is when it started getting asked to be featured in festivals like Los Angeles, New York, South Korea, and Tokyo, Roma. And for me, it was surreal because I said, this has now become like a world thing. Like someone in Rome. It's a small festival, but someone in Rome who speaks Italian is watching this, right? So, what was that feeling like for you when I told you it started getting into these festivals?
Man, it's just like for you, it's it must be insanely like rewarding, right? Like, oh my god, like your work is being shown. But for me, it's just like I'm so impressed with your work. To me, I'm just seeing back like wow, like this is being appreciated on a world level. Like I don't even think about it for
Thank
me
you.
as much. Like I'm just honored to be a part of it and that it's my face
Yeah.
there. But man, like it's just like we keep saying, I keep repeating. It's we hopped the fence and we recorded at the field and we had an hour restriction. We did what we could and it just it's blown up now, and it's awesome to look back on it and see all the success it's gotten. And my parents see it, and my Zios and Zias see it,
Oh,
and they
good.
think
Okay,
we're
good.
like, I think I'm like famous now. I think you're like the
Hey,
greatest
there you
director.
go.
So
Yeah.
no, man, I've gotten so much positive feedback from everyone who's seen it, and yeah, man, like when it went to Italy, that was the coolest for me. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
that's
same here. When it said Roma, I said to you, I'm like, I didn't even, if you noticed, because I usually send you a text on Fridays, right? I didn't even wait when I was popping up for your brother's birthday surprise. I was like, hey, by the way, we got into Roma. And you're like, what? Like, let me
yeah.
drop off Coda and talk more about this.
I had to
Coda's
run
his
back
dog.
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, if there's a group of people that I really wanted them to watch it, is probably your family, and I'm so happy that you showed it to them, because it's so important that they see, like, their son, like how much of a passion he has for the sport, and because they were part of it, they were responsible, right? Like, especially your father, right? Like helping you get into the game, and just seeing you, that just that 1 minute and 15 seconds of you talking about the game and stuff. I'm really happy that they were impressed by it, and you guys were able to share that moment together. That was a big thing
Honestly,
for me, is, yeah, getting on that level.
for me, it's like it's something that I get to keep now, like forever. It's like I'll have
Good,
that
man.
footage of
Yeah,
me with doing what I love.
there
Like
you go.
it's just it's a nice keepsake for me, and it's like I'm happy to have done it and to help you, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like it's a nice like it captures and it reflects on like the game I love. So it's a nice project to have.
Yeah, and I made it too, I should mention, other than the fact of it being about soccer, I made it because I want to inspire not only myself, but other filmmakers or creatives that, like you said, this is something we did in an hour. We went at a soccer field, we just, shot what we could, and we put it together. And it doesn't need to be, expensive production value. It doesn't need to be all these different things
As long as you
working.
have an idea and you
Exactly.
prepare and you have a plan and yeah.
Obviously, eventually, like, when you're that good, or if you're meant for that, that lifestyle, like that kind of level, you're gonna have people like come to you, and naturally they're gonna give you that budget, right? It's called funding and all that stuff. But I strongly believe, like, people that need funding and all that stuff, that sometimes you just need an idea and an execution. And I feel like the way we pulled it off, it just shows, it should show. I hope anyone that views this video is, other than the fact of being inspired to play the sport of soccer or fall in love with it, they should be inspired to create, to make, because a big thing for me when it got accepted in Los Angeles, it won an honorable mention there, the One Reeler Short Film Festival there. And then when it started going throughout the world, like Roma and South Korea, for instance, I just was saying to myself, because this is, by the way, the first time I've gone into festivals, right? Like I got into one or two, maybe in Toronto, but two projects that I did before, but there was a huge gap in between. And I really was trying to get as much recognition as I could. And what I'm trying to say is, when I started seeing, what it was receiving around the world, it's rewarding, yeah, in a sense where I love the fact that people are watching it, but it's rewarding in the sense that it's like, it proves to me that all you need really is an idea and a hustle, like the drive to make it happen, and people will see that, people will gravitate to you with that storytelling.
Couldn't agree more, man. 100%.
Yeah, man. So
It's
yeah, sorry, what are you saying, man?
no. Go ahead.
No, no, you just cut out. So
Oh my God.
gotta love
No,
Zoom
man.
for these podcasts.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I was just saying, man. You said it best. It's all about just having like the confidence and belief in yourself to do it. And that's what we did. You believed in the idea, you believed in the project, put it together, and now you're reaping the benefits.
Nice, man. And thank you again. I want to say now, because we talked about, your experience with soccer and making this film beautiful. And when I was before this kind of podcast episode, I was thinking to myself, you touched on it earlier about working for TFC, right? Uh, as a marketing coordinator, or brand marketing for sports marketing. What how do you intend to continue your passion, continue your dedication to the game, the beautiful game?
Yeah, man. I've learned that that's like for me to be happy and live life and that I got to be a part of it somehow. That's what I've learned and I realize is whenever I am close, the closer I am to it, the happier I am. So that was my that's my goal. I tell myself every day is that's what I'm going to be working toward is to become a sports marketer for Toronto FC, maybe even York United, which is the CPL, Canadian Professional League
Nice.
that's happening here, Canadian Premier League. Any way that I can get closer to it, that's kind of the ultimate goal for me. And I also one day I hope to coach as well. I want to get my coaching
Yeah, I
licenses.
was gonna mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think there's it's coaching is something I've always wanted to do because I want to pass down all this love and knowledge and passion I have for
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
I want to pass it down. I want to see others, be inspired and all the things I said, learn all of the valuable life lessons there are in
100%.
soccer.
100%.
Um, I just gotta wait for the right time and find some time in my life to have kind of balance of work and coaching. But it's something I really really want to do, especially because my dad's done it too, right? As we were saying
Yeah.
before. Um, yeah, like whenever like I'm alone, I'll like practice like team speeches I'm gonna do one day when I'm a
Oh
coach.
yeah, nice. Hey, save it for beautiful too, man.
He's
Yeah.
beautiful too. There you
I know
go.
Paul's a
But that
busy guy. Your oldest brother Paul is a busy guy, but
yeah,
I actually was imagining like he should probably end off the trilogy, like the
my
Demerito
God.
soccer trilogy, right? Like we'll make him a
Dude,
coach and then you guys make an appearance. Like,
that would be
you know,
perfect. What an idea for the trilogy
I would
finale.
hey, how about this? I'll write a script. I'll write like some kind of like outline,
Yeah.
and I feel like Paul will do it because he's a
It'll
big dream.
be like multiverse, like for beautiful. Like
Yeah,
Mark will
that
come back, I'll come in, Paul will be there.
Robert, look me in the eyes. Do you think I'm kidding? I'm actually serious. We could
Fantastic
pull it
idea.
up. We just need people to show up. But that's how I imagine it, where it's like multiverse. All these characters, right? That all come back and beautiful in the same verse, and like it revealed at the end. So yeah, that's something in the works, man. We'll pull it off for sure. It'll be the same thing, like a minute or two, just very quick. But the story's there. We'll put him in a suit on the sidelines of a soccer field. Yeah,
Oh,
be
you
dope.
think I like snapped into like, the mode or the zone when I got there? Paul will do it even
Oh
more than
yeah, I
me.
know, I know. Yeah, Paul, I should mention. For if I didn't mention before, Paul is the older brother of Robert, and he's just as experienced in soccer, and yeah, he has been so supportive with filmmaking. He has been such a good friend that way, including Mark as well. But Paul, I remember like on the GO train when I would go downtown like to Ryerson, you just have those deep conversations. And I was like, wait, do I have an older brother? What's happening? And he'd be like, no, because I would just brush it off like, yeah, I'll see what I can do with film. Because it's such a crazy, challenging, arduous path. Like, how do you even pinpoint how to break through, right? And his whole attitude was, you just got to go for it. Because he was saying at the time, like, if I could go for something I love, I would do it. So don't be like, don't make kind of like go with it without any regret. Um, and it was words of wisdom, really, man, because I was like, what, 20, 21, maybe even younger. And he was, he's 4 years older than me. So he was just trying to give me, he was probably my age. I'm 25, 26. So he's probably trying to give me a window of, what's possible if you put your mind to something, right? Or if you just give yourself the courage, the permission to go for it. People don't realize like our 20s, I know we have to get married and we have to buy a house and move out and all this crap. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, but I want to look back and say I did something. Like I tried, even if I fall flat on my face, like that film, Beautiful, like you said, it's something you'll always look back at. But if I was working in an office job that I hated and like, didn't have the time or made excuses, we'll never have that moment. We'll always talk about it, you know?
Honestly, the older we get, the less risk we can take, so to say, right? This is the
It's
time
true, man.
in
It's
our
true.
life
Yeah.
that we can afford to try things and do what we want to do. But man, it's this career path, being a director and it's like any other creative um, job. It's like trying to be a musician. It's even like trying to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
obviously, really hard and the chances might be slim, but if you just wake up and do it every day and you're doing what you love every day and you never know what can happen. It's the truth. You just gotta go
Yeah.
for it. And
Yeah.
one day you'll look back and
Yeah.
whether or not it's turned out to be what you wanted it to be, you have no regrets, right? And that's all that's the
Yeah.
best peace of mind you can have.
Yeah, and you kind of have to like, I get that a lot. You have to also know how to live with yourself, right? Like if you look, like you said, look back and no matter how it turned out, like you look at you're proud of it. That's how all it should be. You shouldn't kind of look back and say, I should have done this and it should have been like that. It's more like, well, I did the best I could, you know, and
Think about how
you
many
have to just
people don't
trust it.
try, right?
And yeah, think about exactly. Think about how many people don't try, and that was my point with this little film. Beautiful is I didn't want the pandemic year to end where I didn't make anything. I didn't want to use that excuse because it is tempting, man. It's so tempting. Like, oh, you don't want to get sick, you don't want your family to get sick, and I'm still cautious, but I felt like there was always a way if you just push, if you be smart about it, you could still make stuff. And that's what I mean by when the pandemic hit, I was worried we weren't going to do this project the one of many that I had planned in my head, and we were able to do it. And it just shows you that you commit to what you initially started, and you'll reap the rewards, um, if it's done right, done with good intention. So I really want to thank you again for coming on the podcast, man. It was a lot of fun. Like always, we had you back last with Nick Ferfari, our boy, talking about Pokemon. But we'll have you back very soon.
Trying to be a regular.
Yeah, of course, man. Hey, Joey Diaz over here. What's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah. Minus the swearing. But no, man, it's this film, like I said, meant a lot to me, and it's still something that I'm really proud of. I watch it from time to time. I was just listening to the soundtrack on my walk this morning, and I was melding the words because I know every beat, like every note when you like say something, like it's more than just a game. I'm like, I'm not Robert. What am I saying? Oh, Robert can only say these lines. Yeah, man, yeah, really proud of it. The reception it's getting. Thank you again, everyone, for like watching it and supporting it. For those that are watching and know what I'm talking about, Beautiful, starring Robert DeMario. Can never ask for more. Like amazing guys. I really appreciate it. And thank you again, Robert. Anything you have to say before you leave?
Hey, man, I'm proud of you, man. You really solid thing that we did. It's something I'm even proud of to just be a part of. And
Yeah.
Thanks for having me as usual. I love being here.
No worries, buddy. Yeah, we'll have you soon back on. All right. So having said that, thank you again, Robert DeMario. Thank you everybody for listening, and we'll talk soon.